that in the Sean Diddy Combs case. So we're seeing this a lot more frequently.
Durk Derrick Banks, known globally as Lil Durk, isn't just a rapper. He's a titan of modern hip-hop, a voice that rose from the challenging streets of Chicago's South Side to dominate charts and earn Grammy nominations. His journey is a testament to resilience, marked by the raw authenticity of the drill sound he helped pioneer and the profound losses he's endured. Yet in recent months, that journey has taken a dramatic, terrifying turn, overshadowed by a legal firestorm that threatens to dismantle everything he's built. This is not just a celebrity in trouble. This is a man fighting for his freedom, his future, and perhaps his very life, all while his music continues to resonate with millions, a raw, unfiltered soundtrack to his harrowing reality. The world watched as the news broke, a seismic shockwave through the entertainment industry and beyond. On October 24, 2024, federal authorities apprehended Lil Durk in South Florida. The details that emerged were stunning and severe. Reports indicated he was attempting to board a private flight to Italy when the arrest occurred, a detail that would later play a significant role in his legal battles. The charges stemmed from a sealed federal indictment originating in Los Angeles, carrying the immense weight of allegations that pointed to a calculated violent act, conspiracy to commit murder for hire, use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, and multiple firearms offenses, including the use and possession of a machine gun. The indictment painted a grim picture, alleging that Lil Durk had orchestrated a plot to murder rival rapper Tiquian Bowman, known as Quando Rondo. This alleged scheme, according to prosecutors, culminated in a violent attack on August 19, 2022, near the bustling Beverly Center Mall in Los Angeles. While Quando Rondo was unharmed during the shooting, the gunfire
indictment says an associate of TB pulled out a gun and shot DB multiple times, killing him. Now, the indictment doesn't have the full names of TB or DB, but the circumstances match the November 6, 2020 shooting death of rapper King Von, whose real name is Davon Bennett. And of course, we know Quando Rondo's real name to be Tiquian Bowman. So where does Lil Durk come into play here? Well, federal prosecutors say after King Von's murder, Lil Durk wanted revenge. According to the indictment, Banks made clear in coded language that he would pay a bounty to
tragically struck and killed his cousin, 4-year-old Saviay'a Robinson, also known as Lul Pabb. The motive, as laid out by the prosecution, was chillingly clear: direct retaliation for the November 2020 killing of King Von Durk's close friend and a fellow member of his Only the Family OTF collective following an altercation with Quando Rondo's crew in Atlanta. The indictment didn't just name Durk, it positioned him as the lead defendant, alongside several alleged co-conspirators associated with OTF, suggesting a coordinated group effort behind the alleged plot. The immediate aftermath of his arrest saw Lil Durk transferred to federal custody in California to face the charges. In November 2024, he appeared in court and entered a plea of not guilty to all counts. His legal team, recognizing the gravity of the situation, immediately began efforts to secure his release pending trial. Reports detailed their significant offers to the court, including a substantial $1 million in cash provided by his label, Sony Music, and significant equity in various properties, totaling millions more. The defense argued that these measures, combined with proposed monitoring, would ensure his appearance in court and the safety of the community. However, these attempts were ultimately unsuccessful. In December 2024, a federal judge denied bond, making the difficult decision to keep Durk incarcerated ahead of his trial. The judge's reasoning, as reported, centered on two primary concerns: that he was a potential flight risk, a concern perhaps amplified by the circumstances of his arrest near a private jet, and that he posed a potential danger to the community, given the violent nature of the charges and the allegations of his leadership within OTF. This decision was a devastating blow, meaning that one of hip-hop's biggest stars would face the most critical period of his legal battle from behind bars. He has
irrelevant to the fact that a murder for hire is, all you have to do is prove that he had knowledge. According to these text messages that Lil Durk have from his phone, from his cell phone that's in his name, that he texting the killers, don't put none in my name that's going to come back to me. That's being aware. You got 2, 5, and 4 conspirator that's not in the indictment. So they got way more evidence. Then they have 250 gigabytes
remained incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Los Angeles ever since, a stark contrast to the lavish lifestyle often associated with his level of fame. It's a different kind of quiet in here, Durk is said to have shared through his legal team, his voice reportedly softer, more measured. Then his public persona. The silence hits you different. You got nothing but your thoughts. Everything slows down. Everything. Out there, it's constant movement, constant noise. In here, it's just you and your mind. And man, the mind can be a loud place. When it's just you, he reflected on the sudden halt to his life. One minute you're making plans, thinking about the next show, the next track. The next minute, the door slams shut. It's like the whole world keeps spinning, but you're stuck in one spot. You see things differently from in here. Priorities change. You think about who's really solid, who's just around for the good times. The legal complexities surrounding Durk deepened further in December 2024. Newly unsealed court documents revealed that federal investigators were exploring a potential connection between Durk and a second, entirely separate murder-for-hire investigation, this one based in Chicago. These documents suggested a link between Durk and the 2022 killing of Stefan Mack, who was allegedly the leader of a rival gang faction. The suspected motive in this instance was presented as retaliation for the 2021 murder of Lil Durk's own brother, D-Thang, Dante Banks Jr. While these documents added another layer of intense scrutiny and likely influenced the judge's decision regarding bond, it is absolutely crucial to reiterate that Lil Durk has not been formally charged in connection with Stefan Mack's death. The mention in the unsealed documents indicates an area of investigation, not a formal accusation with which he must currently contend in court. The repercussions of the
who are both allegedly vice lords. Now, all those tickets was purchased with an OTF credit card. And there's a text message from Durk saying, don't book any flights under my name, which of course they did.
You gotta rub those points on the Amex card. Come on.
Yeah,
though,
you
man.
got it. Yeah.
Everybody
That's more important than freedom. Right. On the same day that those guys flew in to LA, OTF, Vonnie, and Lil Durk flew in on a private plane.
Los Angeles incident also manifested in civil court. In February 2025, Saviay'a Robinson's mother filed a wrongful death lawsuit in Cook County, Illinois. The suit directly names Lil Durk, his business manager, and his OTF record label as defendants. This civil action seeks accountability and financial damages for Robinson's death, directly tying it to the alleged murder-for-hire plot detailed in the federal indictment. This marked the second significant wrongful death suit involving Durk in recent times, following one filed by the mother of slain Chicago rapper FBG Duck, highlighting the multifaceted legal pressures he is facing. Hearing about the civil suits, it hurts, man, Durk reportedly conveyed. You never want to see anyone hurt, any family go through pain. It's heavy, real heavy. It adds another weight to everything else. It's not just the charges, it's the human cost. That stays with you. You pray for peace for everyone involved, no matter what's being said about you. He spoke about the weight of public perception versus the legal fight. Out there, everybody got an opinion. They read a headline, they see a charge, and they think they know the whole story. They don't see what's happening behind these walls. They don't see the legal strategy, the evidence the defense is lining up. It's like you're living two lives, the one the world sees and the one you're actually fighting in inch by inch in these courtrooms. Amidst this legal maelstrom, perhaps one of the most striking aspects of Lil Durk's current situation is that his musical output has not ceased. On March 28, 2025, while he remained incarcerated, a surprise album titled Deep Thoughts was released. This project offered a raw, introspective look into his mindset during this incredibly challenging period. Tracks on the album reportedly delved into deeply personal struggles,
and buys 4 ski masks. The GPS put him at the store at the time of the purchase. There's probably cameras in the store and they have a receipt for the actual purchase to him. He also goes and gets a bunch of guns, including a Glock with a switch, and he provides these guns to Flocka Brown Eyes and co-conspirator 2. The day of the murder. By the way, all this is accurate, right? You're not disputing any of this. According to the defense.
Co-conspirator 2,
including battles with addiction and the immense psychological pressure of his legal predicament and incarceration. The album featured collaborations with major artists like Future, Lil Baby, Hunk Show, and Janie Aiko, demonstrating his continued influence and respect within the industry. Making music in here, it's different. Durk is quoted as saying about the creative process behind Deep Thoughts, It's not the same as being in a studio with the crew, the energy, it's distilled. Every word matters more. You don't have distractions. It's just you, a pad, maybe a phone call if you're lucky, and the lawyers can set it up. You gotta get it all out. Leave it down right then, because you don't know when the next chance is. It's pure emotion, pure thought, no filter. That's why we called it Deep Thoughts, because that's all you got in here. Deep thoughts, swimming around, sometimes drowning you, sometimes giving you something to hold on to. He spoke about the themes. Addiction. That's a real fight. Nobody talks about it enough, especially not from our side. But when you're stripped down to nothing, those demons come knocking harder than ever. You gotta face them. And the pressure, man, this pressure is something else. Knowing what's on the line, thinking about your family, your kids, the guys depending on you. It's a weight you can't really describe unless you felt it. The release of Deep Thoughts resonated strongly with listeners, achieving significant commercial success and debuting high on the Billboard charts. It stood as a powerful testament to his continued artistic relevance and ability to connect with fans even from behind bars. Some critics noted that while the album was powerful and introspective, there was a sense of constraint, likely due to the ongoing legal proceedings limiting what he could explicitly address in his lyrics about the specifics of his case. However, the raw emotion and vulnerability seemed to connect on a deeper level with many who were
Wilson through text that Wilson, Jones, and Lindsay had the same airline ticket confirmation, and Wilson messaged a friend on Instagram saying, "On my way to LA." From there, Cavant Grant allegedly purchased 4 black ski masks from a sporting goods store, but used cash to pay, but seemingly messed up when he allegedly used another OTF credit card to rent a hotel for the co-conspirators. Prosecutors say after Grant met with the co-conspirators, he gave Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and another unnamed co-conspirator firearms, including a firearm.
Following his situation, seeing the album do well, man, that means the world. Durk reportedly shared a rare glimpse of pride amidst the struggle. It shows the fans are still with me, they hear me, they understand the pain, the fight, even if they don't know every detail. Music is my way of talking to them when I can't really talk. It's my therapy, it's my message. It's proof that even when they try to lock you down, they can't lock down your voice. That's powerful. That gives you something to fight for inside these walls. He reflected on the constraints. Yeah, there's things you gotta be careful about, you know? Lawyers gotta check everything. Can't say too much. Can't give them anything they can twist. It's frustrating. You want to tell the whole story, lay it all out, but you gotta be smart. So you speak in feelings, in moods, in the struggle. The real ones, they'll still get it. They'll read between the lines. Currently, Lil Durk's future hangs precariously in the balance, intrinsically tied to the outcome of the federal charges he faces. His trial for the Los Angeles murder-for-hire case, initially slated for an early 2025 start, has been officially postponed until October 14th, 2025. This delay was granted, as confirmed by court documents, due to the sheer volume and complexity of the evidence that the prosecution intends to present. Reports indicate this includes approximately 230 gigabytes of digital data encompassing potentially vast amounts of electronic communication, audio, video, and surveillance footage, alongside over 20,000 pages of documents, including reports, witness statements, and medical records. Both the prosecution and the defense agreed that this immense discovery required significant time for review and preparation, making it impossible to adhere to the initial trial date within the bounds of the Speedy Trial Act, October. Feels like a lifetime away, but all.
So I think the question should really be, will he survive the case instead of will he beat the case? Because what history is there of people beating a case like this and just flat out beating it? I don't know anybody. It's a sad thing to fucking think about, but this ain't a state case, and this is. People flew to another state to murder somebody.
Also, like, it's rushing up fast. Durk is quoted reflecting on the trial date. You're just waiting. Every day is the same, but the date is looming. It's like waiting for the biggest test of your life, knowing it could decide everything. You try not to think about it too much, but it's always there in the back of your head. You talk to the lawyers, they tell you what's happening, the strategy. You gotta trust them. It's in their hands now mostly, but you still feel it, the weight of it. He spoke about the evidence. 20,000 pages, gigabytes of data. It's crazy to think about. They digging into everything, every call, every text, every movement. It makes you realize how much of your life is just recorded. Out there, you don't think about it. In here, you can't escape it. They looking for anything, any angle. You just gotta hope the truth is louder than all that noise they pulling up. If convicted of the federal charges, Lil Durk faces the possibility of life in prison, a stark and devastating consequence that underscores the severity of the accusations. His legal team remains steadfast in their defense, actively fighting the charges. Beyond the motions for bond, they have reportedly filed motions to dismiss the indictment entirely, based on claims that prosecutors may have misled the grand jury during the indictment process. These motions are part of the intricate legal maneuvering that precedes a high-stakes federal trial, where every procedural step can potentially influence the outcome. You hear life in prison. It's a hard thing to even process, Durk reportedly shared. The gravity of the words palpable even through a recounting. It's like they're talking about ending your existence as you know it. Everything you are, everything you worked for, gone. It makes you think about time differently. Every second counts. Every visit from family. Every call, you cherish it because you don't know. You just don't know.
Machine gun and possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death, all of which he pleaded not guilty to. Surprisingly, his trial was slated for January 7th, just 3 months after his arrest, but that date was pushed back to October 14th of this year. It all comes weeks after an unsealed affidavit filed by an FBI agent alleged Lil Durk was involved in another murder-for-hire plot. That affidavit reportedly cites texts and social media posts from 2 people discussing the payment from Lil Durk for the 2020.
Know what the future holds, but you can't let that fear break you. You gotta stay strong for yourself, for your family, for the guys. You gotta believe in your legal team, believe in justice, even when it feels like the system is against you. He spoke about the fight, the lawyers doing their thing, challenging everything. That's their job. My job is to hold on, to stay focused, to pray, to hope, and to keep my head straight. It's a fight on multiple fronts, in the court, in the mind, in the spirit. The narrative surrounding Lil Durk is currently one of stark and compelling contrasts. He is a celebrated Grammy-nominated artist whose music has achieved immense commercial success and critical recognition, yet he is simultaneously facing the most serious federal accusations imaginable. He is a voice deeply rooted in the realities of the streets, a storyteller whose lyrics often reflect the violence and challenges of that world, now potentially facing decades or a lifetime behind bars because of alleged actions tied to that very violence. He is an artist confined by the walls of a detention center, yet still capable of creating and releasing music that connects with millions globally, a testament to the power of art as a form of expression and resilience, even in confinement. As he awaits his trial date in October, the hip-hop world, his fans, and the broader public are watching closely. The case raises profound questions about the intersection of art, fame, the harsh realities of street life that often inspire music, and the severe, life-altering consequences of the criminal justice system. The outcome of his legal battles will not only determine Lil Durk's personal freedom, but will undoubtedly define the next chapter, and perhaps the remainder of his complex and turbulent life and career. It is a story still unfolding with the highest possible stakes. To stay fully updated on every...
You know, Quando's going crazy at this point. They drive off, they meet out at an In-N-Out burger about an hour later, and according to the paperwork, they talk about the money they're getting paid. It's interesting to see when this all comes out, how much they were actually offered initially and how much they actually got because they got the wrong guy, right? Because Quando was untouched.
Still got to get paid the same, I think.
Possibly.
Hey, listen, I think any smart criminal or criminal
twist and turn in this unprecedented case, and to hear more about how artists navigate the complexities of fame and the justice system, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't miss out on future in-depth coverage and analysis. The federal charges against Lil Durk represent not only a potential end to his freedom, but also a reckoning for the violent realities that have shadowed his rise. The allegations surrounding the murder-for-hire plot targeting Quando Rondo and the subsequent death of Saviay'a Robinson are deeply troubling. If proven true, these actions reflect a chilling escalation of street-level conflicts into orchestrated acts of retribution, implicating Durk as someone who allegedly wielded power and resources to settle scores rather than seek justice through lawful means, adding, "Another layer of complexity is the connection drawn between Durk and the 2022 killing of Stefan Mack in Chicago. While no formal charges have been filed in this case, its inclusion in the broader investigation underscores the pervasive influence of gang rivalries and personal vendettas in shaping his world. These incidents highlight how unresolved grief, such as the deaths of King Von and D. Thang, can fuel cycles of retaliation, trapping individuals within destructive patterns. The wrongful death lawsuit brought by Saviay'a Robinson's family further amplifies the human cost of these alleged crimes. Beyond the courtroom drama, it serves as a reminder that every act of violence leaves behind victims whose lives are irrevocably altered. For Lil Durk, whose music often explores themes of pain and survival, this legal challenge forces him to confront the consequences of his choices on a deeply personal level. Artistic resilience, creating amid chaos. Despite the gravity of his circumstances, Lil Durk has demonstrated remarkable artistic resilience.
So it does not take a lot to be convicted of conspiracy charges. Now, they do have to show that he was voluntarily a part of this conspiracy, and they're going to have to show that he knew what the end goal of the conspiracy is. And so that's the burden. But conspiracy does not take as much as other charges. So this is a very serious crime.
Mike, you know, one of the things that strikes me about this is Durk has long touted himself as the voice, especially from Chicago. He's noted his connection to the trenches.
Deep Thoughts released while he remains incarcerated is more than just an album. It's a lifeline. The project offers listeners a window into his psyche during one of the darkest periods of his life. Tracks like Shaking When I Pray reveal his vulnerability, grappling with fear, guilt, and existential questions about faith and mortality. Meanwhile, collaborations with Future and Lil Baby underscore his enduring relevance in hip-hop, even as he faces existential threats to his career. However, the constraints imposed by his legal situation are evident. The absence of explicit references to the ongoing cases suggests self-censorship or strategic caution, a necessary compromise given the scrutiny he faces. Yet this restraint does little to diminish the emotional weight of the album. Instead, it invites interpretation, allowing fans to fill in the blanks with their understanding of his plight. Musically, Deep Thoughts reinforces Lil Durk's ability to transform personal turmoil into art that resonates universally. His signature blend of melodic hooks and introspective lyricism continues to captivate audiences, proving that his voice remains powerful regardless of physical confinement. This duality, creating while imprisoned, is reminiscent of other artists who have used music as both catharsis and resistance, from Tupac Shakur to Meek Mill. The broader implications, hip-hop, and the justice system. Lil Durk's predicament raises critical questions about the intersection of hip-hop culture, systemic inequality, and the criminal justice system. As a genre rooted in storytelling and social commentary, hip-hop often mirrors the harsh realities faced by marginalized communities. However, when those narratives intersect with real-world violence, the line between art and life becomes blurred. Critics may argue that Durk's alleged involvement in criminal activity undermines his credibility.
How are we going to tackle the growing issue of violence within our cities? How are we going to tackle gun violence and gun reform? And then how are we going to tackle the gang culture that exists in our major cities?
Well, and Shauna, one more here, because you mentioned conspiracy earlier. How might prosecutors be looking at this OTF group that Durk was a part of? I mean, are we going to see some repeats of what happened in the YS or what's happened?
As an artist, while supporters might view his case as emblematic of a flawed system that disproportionately targets black men. Moreover, the outcome of his trial could set a precedent for how similar cases involving high-profile entertainers are handled. Should he be convicted, it would serve as a sobering reminder of the severe penalties associated with conspiracy charges and violent crime. Conversely, if acquitted or exonerated, it could reignite debates about prosecutorial overreach and the presumption of innocence. What lies ahead? As Lil Durk prepares for his October 2025 trial, the stakes could not be higher. Facing the possibility of life imprisonment, he must rely on his legal team to dismantle the prosecution's case, which reportedly includes an overwhelming amount of digital evidence. Their motion to dismiss the indictment based on claims of prosecutorial misconduct adds yet another wrinkle to an already convoluted process. Regardless of the verdict, the impact of this ordeal will reverberate throughout his career and legacy. If found guilty, Lil Durk risks becoming a cautionary tale, a once celebrated artist undone by the very forces he sought to expose through his music. If cleared, he may emerge with renewed determination to redefine his narrative narrative, perhaps using his platform to advocate for change within the systems that have ensnared so many others like him. For now, the world waits. Fans, critics, and fellow artists alike are watching closely, aware that Lil Durk's fate symbolizes far more than the future of one man. It reflects the complexities and contradictions inherent in the pursuit of dreams amid despair. Whether he ultimately triumphs or succumbs to the pressures bearing down upon him, his story will remain etched in the annals of hip-hop history, a testament to the indomitable spirit of an artist who refused to be silenced even in the face of unimaginable adversity.